my God. He's going to be so mad at us, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 205. This is another wrestling podcast, AWP, and the inmates are running the asylum today. That's right. Credo is at a PTA meeting tonight or somewhere, and he left the two idiots in charge. I am idiot number one. This is Minority Mike, and my partner in crime tonight is... This is when
Idiot number two, yes, Angry Cooter.
Angry Cooter, and we're bringing you another wrestling podcast. There's probably going to be a lot of censoring tonight because, like I said, it's like, you know, it's like when the parents go to bed and the two kids are up late, fucking around.
You know what's fucked up is, Credo, good luck editing this. Just put it up and just shake your head now and just put it up. Don't even try.
Yeah, because we're just, I don't know what's going to happen with this podcast. But, so how are you doing there?
Dude, it's a great year so far. We're 10 days into the new year. I have officially been to the gym more times than the bar this year. You know how many times I've been to the gym?
How many times have you been there?
8 times.
Okay.
How many times have I been to the bar?
9, 7.
0. I have not had a drink yet in the new year, Mike Colon. So I'm very angry. So don't fuck with me tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck with you a lot. I've been to the gym every day this year, and just like last week, this week I'm also very frustrated and angry, just like you. It's still New Year's resolutioners, man. You know, some guy had the nerve to come to me, and this really pissed me off. Like, I'm in the middle of a set, and he's trying to get my attention, ask me how many more sets I have.
Oh, that's my pet peeve.
Like, I'm literally in the middle of a set, and he's trying to get my attention. I never wanted to throw a 50-pound dumbbell at somebody that hard before in my life. But that's a different story. I've been very angry this week. I've been arguing with a lot of Twitter trolls this whole week. It's going...
Over what?
Well, you know, there's a lot of big news happening. AWP, you know, this is big right here, AWP, us. But I'm talking about AEW, you know, that All Elite Wrestling promotion. That promotion that you love so much. Yeah, I've been arguing. I just gotten a lot of arguments this week.
What are you arguing about? There's nothing to argue about.
There's, you know, and that's the funny thing. There really isn't nothing to argue about, but the fact that, like, these hardcore WWE fanboys, it's like they complain and complain about the product on Raw, but then when they finally get another alternative, they completely shit on it. And just completely like, oh, I give it a month, it will fail. And they just rip apart. And then what hit them even worse was when they saw Jericho signed with them. And that was like a dagger to the heart. Let's get right into it, because I know me and you had some words about this week.
I think we did, and you know what, Mike? I'm not going to be one of these guys who shits on it. I'm going to say next, and you know why I'm going to say next? Because there's nothing to talk about.
There is a lot to talk about.
Like what?
There's a lot, like, you know, the potential this promotion has, the future it can bring to professional wrestling, how great it is to be a wrestling fan, knowing that in a couple years we might have a great threat to the WWE. I hope it lights a fire.
So why don't we talk about it in a couple of years when something actually happens?
No, because it's the hottest topic in wrestling right now.
No,
what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about tugging your pecker?
No, absolutely not. But there's talk to me about their first episode. Oh, wait, they don't have a show. Let's talk about the upcoming pay-per-view. Oh, wait, they don't have one. Like, I get it. There's a reason to be excited. I think this is great. You know, business is always better when there's competition. However, they're not competition yet. There's nothing to talk about. There's no show. They have, what, maybe a handful of people on the roster with some big names. What else do you got? You got a weekend in Vegas. Cool. You got a good start.
I mean,
they got somebody with money. You know, that doesn't really mean shit to me.
They got a great start. I mean, just alone with the presser they had, the rally. I mean, CBS Sports was talking about it. NBC Sports was talking about it, and they only talk about WWE. So for them to hit those platforms, I mean, for them to hit that platform, it's huge, in my opinion. You don't see that. And a guy like Chris Jericho, granted, I am a way bigger Kenny Omega fan. I love Omega. Jericho is a GOAT. He will always be a GOAT. He was probably one of the best there ever was. Yeah, he's old. Can he still go? I think he could still grow. That match he had at Wrestle Kingdom against Naito was amazing.
No question.
His name alone being on that roster is huge. It's huge, and this is my reason why. Because that name will help them get a TV deal. Because just say you don't have Jericho, okay? And you're fishing for TV deals. These big networks, they're not going to know who these guys are. They were never in a WWE. Well, Cody maybe, but Cody was a mid-carder. He was, that's all he got, unfortunately. So they're really not going to know who these guys are. But when you add a name like Jericho, who has been well established in the WWE, who can put asses in seats, has proven that, especially what he did with last year with New Japan, networks see that and see that name Jericho, they're probably going to be interested because they know that a guy like Jericho is going to pull over some of those casual fans from the WWE and have them tune in to see what's going on.
I got to disagree with you right now on this.
Okay, go ahead. Disagree.
Not because Jericho isn't a big name, but because of the difference. What he did in Japan and the freedom that he was afforded in Japan, like say the press conferences where he was dropping multiple F-bombs, is not happening in the United States. And the problem I have is people are basing the potential of the show based off the All In card. Was All In a great show for independent wrestling? Yes. What, to me, is the best part of that show was the Joey Ryan entrance. Now, what network is putting the Joey Ryan entrance on fucking television?
We don't know that. We don't know if the network's gonna. I mean, you had a bunch of penis druids walking. I think
I'm
that's
just
not
saying,
too extreme.
Well, yeah, okay, sure, it's not extreme. Yeah, we're gonna put people dressed up as dicks in costumes on fucking television.
But I think
I'm not saying that's where it's going. But I'm saying
the reason why I think you're thinking that way is because we've been so spoiled with how childish the WWE product has been because we have nothing else to look forward to.
Well, you base that off of one show. I look at NXT and I'm happy. I look at Smackdown, I'm happy. I look at the direction of 205 Live and the potential, and I'm happy. I don't need Monday Night Raw in my life to feel like all is well. I watch Monday Night Raw so I have something to write jokes and make fun of for this fucking show. But to be entertained, yes. I watch the shows that I like. Dude, there is so much I would much rather talk about than something that is not really a thing yet. I would much rather debate who is fatter, Tommy Dreamer or Chris Hero.
Jesus Christ! Well, we're talking about it because it is a thing right now. It's a buzz. I mean, I'm sure you watched the press conference. Did you not, or did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't watch it.
Well, you missed the best thing in that press conference, and you, out of all people, would have got a fucking kick out of this. Neville, who's now known as Pac, everybody's in suits, and Neville comes out in his wrestling trunks. And it was the funniest thing for me. And I know a lot of people thought it was great. But you have to go back and watch this, Cooter. Like, okay. Everybody's all professional, and he comes out in his wrestling trunks. It's what's that saying? I'll think of it. I can't even get it off the top of my head right now. But it's just a funny thing, like, just to see him coming out in wrestling trunks, like he's about to do like a one of those shooting star presses off the stage or something. And the best part, he had his Dragon Gate world title with him. Like he was about to wrestle a match. It was funny. The press conference was good though. Conrad Thompson hosted it. I felt like the only thing I didn't like about it is they didn't have the crowd mic'd, because you couldn't really hear the crowd, like the pops that happen. Um, I don't have the roster in front of me. I think the roster that they have right now. I mean, obviously it's gonna grow, and
And it has to.
it has to exactly.
They have to have they have to have a show for this roster to perform on, Mike. Here's what I really also want to talk about while you're looking at the roster. All right, when you look at the acts, the big names, your Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, is Kenny Omega officially on the fucking?
Well, I'm gonna get to Kenny Omega in a minute because I want you to hear how I feel about the Kenny Omega situation. But here's the roster so far they have. So
Okay, all
obviously
right,
they have Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Chris Jericho, Hangman Page,
right,
SCU, which is Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky,
right.
Joey Janela, excuse me,
Yes, of course.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman, who I think has probably the best charisma for a 22-year-old.
Okay.
Before I continue, I just want to tell you, you might get a kick out of this too. This guy MJF, Credo doesn't like him. Credo doesn't like him. I think he's great.
Okay.
MJF was asked if he would ever donate to Toys for Tots. Now we all know
Okay.
what Toys for Tots is. It's the
Of course.
charity, and his quote was, "Absolutely not. I'm not going to give them freebies. Those kids need to earn their toys. Get a freaking job."
I agree with that
But
because I'm also an asshole.
yeah. I mean, if you haven't heard of MJF, go on YouTube, listen to his promos because the guy is amazing. Okay, so and then they have Pac, which
Right.
is Neville, which I think is a big signing for them too to
That
get him
is
on there.
that's a big name.
Okay, they have people from a Chinese promotion, and I apologize in advance that I don't know the promotion's name, but at this moment, but I did get to go on YouTube and look them up because I wasn't too familiar with them, and they're actually good. They have this one stable called the Strong Hearts, and it's kind of like a Chinese Undisputed Era kind of NWO type feel.
Right.
They actually, I mean, from the videos I saw, they actually look pretty good. So I'm interested to see how they fit in with AEW. They're female wrestlers: Brandy Rhodes, Britt Baker, Penelope Ford. The roster is going to grow, but I think right now the roster that we have in front of us is actually pretty good. What are your thoughts on that?
There's some good names on there, and I'm not worried about them attracting talent and making talent because I'm sure they're going to have some younger guys who really don't have big names yet, who they could make stars. You know, that they can get the rub off of certain people. I'm okay with that. What I worry about with this promotion is who's booking, who has creative control. Because you talk about a guy like this dude Khan who's going to chuck all this money, you know, that's cool, you know, and the Young Bucks and your Cody Rhodes and your Kenny Omegas of the world, they are all great talents in Ring of Honor and in New Japan. Excuse me. Are they going to be afforded the same, you know, leniency with what they are going to do on air with their personalities and so on and so forth? Is Khan going to want to control storylines, the level of violence, how far they're willing to go in terms of language? There's a lot of questions that I don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, this is going to be great, and then wow, it's basically Dixie Carter 2.0, just another mark with a whole shitload of money who's going to bankrupt their family because she doesn't know how to run a wrestling business.
Well, Khan stated in an interview that he's going to be Tony Khan, which is the son of, I'm going to say his father's name, I'm going to slaughter it, so I'm not even going to say it. But he basically said in an interview that he's not going to get too heavy in there. He's going to be the guy backing it. He's going to be behind it. But the producer and one of the bookers, Billy Gunn, they got Billy Gunn to be a producer and a booker, which I think is a great sign. He's a brilliant mind for the business.
Mm.
And they got a couple other guys, and I don't know the names off the top of my head. But the one thing that really stands out to me the most, and it to me is a big deal, and I'm sure to a lot of the guys on the WWE roster right now who are close to their contract expiring, definitely raised an eyebrow or raised their heads when they heard this. Khan is offering these wrestlers health care and healthcare packages.
Oh, wow.
That's a big deal.
Yes, it
It's
is.
a very big deal. The WB, you're an independent contractor. Now, if something happens in the ring, they'll take care of you. But you don't have health care. You have to pay for your own health care. This guy Khan is making sure every wrestler on that roster is covered with health care. That is a big game changer for the wrestlers, for them. That's another like perk for them if they do leave the WB and come over to AEW. They're guaranteed health care. And there's a lot of jobs out there that doesn't even offer health care. I myself, I remember when I was job hunting for a new job, I turned down a job that paid more than my current job because they didn't offer health care. And the job that I have now, which pays decent but not as much, offered me health care. I took that because
Okay.
it's a big deal. And I
Of
know
course it is.
it's a very big deal to these guys. So that's a huge game changer for a lot of people.
Mm. No, it's like I said. I'm not disputing the fact that it's something to talk about, but we've spent more time talking about it than what they've generated in content.
Okay, well
I want to talk about content,
we
and when the time comes, I'll be right there with you, Mike. But until then, like, I'm just not there yet.
well, you're going to
Okay,
be there because
you
we're going
made
to
a
go to
book.
Vegas. We're going to go to Vegas. We're going
You
to go
don't
to
want me to
Starcast. We're
You
going to
can't
go.
handle me,
We're going to go to All or Nothing, whatever that is, and then we're just going to get drunk on the strip. That's a story for another day. Before we move on from AEW, let's talk about Kenny Omega
Okay.
and how fucking made is this guy right now. And hear me out on this because of the fact that I'm sure the WB offered him a shit ton of money.
I'm sure.
But now that AEW is creating all this buzz and now they signed Jericho, the ball is in Kenny's court right now. This guy can make a ton of fuck money right now. And if I was Kenny Omega, if I looked at my phone and I saw Stanford calling me, a Connecticut area code, I'd send that shit to voicemail. I'd tell my manager, you tell them whatever they're offering me to double it and give me a little creative control. What's the worst they could say? No. And that they say no, okay, well then I'm just gonna go over to AEW where I could be with my friends. And that where he's gonna get not as much of the WB money, but I mean we don't know because not allegedly, the Khans are worth more than the McMahons. So maybe they might throw out that money. Maybe if McMahon throws out like let's just throw out a number of $5 million. Okay, Khan sees that. What if he throws out $10 million? It becomes a bidding war. So Kenny, all he has to do is just sit back and take all those offers. I'd have a fucking field day with this.
If Kenny was smart and he really wanted elite, what is it? All Elite Wrestling,
All Elite.
AEW. If you wanted them to be successful, you go to WWE for 2 years. You give them 2 years. You fucking make a real big name for yourself, and then you go to AEW. Because when you show up on that show, you're the first holy shit huge name to jump ship, and you draw your audience that you probably are going to get from WWE to that. It's Scott Hall and Kevin Nash leaving fucking Raw and going to Nitro. That's what that is.
Right.
That's and it's perfect if he wants that other company to succeed. If he just shows up there with the exposure he has, which is great, but if he can get that WWE fan base behind him and then leave, it's better for him and it's better for the company. Because I think if he goes to WWE, he's worth more to Khan afterwards.
I definitely agree with that. A part of me really wants to see him in the WWE because there's so many potential matches he can have, so many amazing matches he can have in the WWE, and just the fact to see him in a WWE ring would be great. But then another part of me, like, I don't know exactly what he's in store for when he gets there. Like, what is he going to be doing? You know, like, is he going to be? They're going to change his character, and he's going to be Mega Man. You know, Kenny Mega Man. Like, is he going to have a video game entrance? Is he going to like
too big of a name for him to have it changed? He's like AJ Styles.
But I'm just saying. You get what I'm saying. What Vince likes to do with these guys, he kind of likes to kind of break it. Whatever you come into the WWE, he wants to mold you into his own creation, and so he sees. Now, when AJ Styles came in, he wanted to get rid of the phenomenal one name. He wanted to get rid of that, and he wanted to call him the Pitbull. Okay, that was the name he wanted to call him, the Pitbull AJ Styles, because he's a pitbull, and you're a small guy, and you're a pitbull, and you're rabid. Yeah, that's what he wanted to do. And I guess what happened is, because of the fans, and because of the amount of support that AJ had, they finally realized that we can't change this guy. So, I mean, I hope they have that same outlook if they do sign Kenny Omega. I hope. You know, we never know. I mean...
Well, I don't know. The cleaner. I like it. What? You could come to the ring with a vacuum cleaner. That's a great idea.
A cleaner? Is he Mexican? A cleaner, no.
Get him a dustpan and a can of Pledge.
You know, so there's a lot of potential. I mean, you put him on Raw. Who's he had to face on Raw? Nobody. You put him on SmackDown.
Oh my God!
There is a laundry list of guys.
There's actually guys on Raw.
Yeah. No. I go back on there. There are guys. You know, you guys like Seth Rollins. That would be an amazing match.
Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Those would be great matches. But I mean, the matches you're gonna want are, dude, Andrade Cien Almas, AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan. Jesus Christ! I'd even throw Mustafa Ali in there, and we're going to talk about SmackDown. My God, can we just move on?
Okay.
I love the whole shitting on you because you're such a fucking anti WWE, Mark.
No, don't call me anti WWE because first of all, I'm not an anti WWE. If I was an anti WWE, Mark, I wouldn't be invested into a lot of SmackDown. I wouldn't be invested into.
Have you looked at your Twitter?
I have, but here's the thing. I don't hate the product. I hate the booking, and I hate fuckboys, little fanboy fuckboys that. Oh, the WWE is everything. It's everything. Nothing matters. These guys aren't over. Oh, they sold out 11,000 seats in an arena. WrestleMania, they sold out stadiums. Those guys will never sell out anything else. Like, I hate that. Like, these bitter fans. Like, just sit back, be a true fan, and just appreciate it. Because at the end of the day, we have so many options. We didn't get this many options back in the day.
Now, listen, I hate to throw some reality in your face right now, but even Impact Wrestling is ahead of the curve in terms of AEW right now. They at least have a TV deal on the Puppy Channel, okay?
Yeah, Animal Planet got it going. But
you got it.
Okay, off topic. I watched some Impact the other day, and it was actually pretty damn good.
I'm not going to lie, bro. I mean, I hate Tommy Dreamer, and Raven is catching up in size. But, I mean, that Eli Drake fucking... Oh man, that's a talent for the fucking. That's just ready for the pickings, one way or the other.
You know, he was on the WWE roster.
He needs to go back.
He was just like EC3. He was on NXT. He was an unknown. He had a couple matches on NXT, and I don't know if he got released or he asked for his release. One or the other. All right, let's move on because we can argue about this all day.
There wasn't much of an argument. I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah,
See, we had a civil discourse without name calling.
Fuck you.
You're a douchebag. I hope you get syphilis.
Yeah, maybe I had it. Did you watch Raw?
I did watch Raw.
What'd you think?
And it's a fucking train wreck. It is terrible. It's the best part about Raw for me is trying to figure out who the biggest botch of the night was. I don't know if it was Nia Jax or Braun Strowman. And you know what? I love me some Braun Strowman, But that was some awkward shit, bro.
It was uncomfortable. It was awkward. Like, this is our Universal title match, ladies and gentlemen, at the Royal Rumble. Brock Lesnar, who barely shows up, versus a guy who was a huge fan favorite a year and a half ago. Braun has really faded off on me lately. And he just doesn't do it for me anymore. And then on Monday, when he cut that promo, or I shouldn't say cut the promo, because he forgot the promo basically half the time. Like, the long pauses, staring at the camera, waiting for a producer to give him a cue. Then you had Lesnar on the other split screen laughing, because I think he knew that Braun forgot his lines.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you had Heyman going, anytime now.
What's so fucking funny about that, Brock? You don't have any lines because you can't cut a promo.
Yeah. Anytime now. Heyman kept saying, anytime now, Braun. So that was terrible. Nia Jax is terrible. Like, she's another one. Did she say that she weighed 305 ounces?
Yeah. I mean, dude, those people who do Botchamania, all they literally got to do is put up Raw as their fucking episode this week. That's it.
All right.
No, we already did that. Welcome back from your PTA meeting, Credo.
Welcome to this. This is like when like we use this reference as, you know, when you were like a kid and you had like a sleepover and the parents went to bed and you just acted like wild men. Like wild kids, and just causing mad mayhem. This is when the supervision, the parents, wakes up at night and makes us get our shit together. And
Shit, Dad got home early, Mike. Fuck.
What has been going on here? What has been going on?
We chatted a little all elite wrestling, which I know you're a big fan of, Credo. I know how much you're enjoying all of the press, and that's it.
I actually sit on both sides of the fence on this one. Can I explain?
Please.
All right, guys. Well, I don't know what you said, so I'm coming in fresh.
Yeah.
So part of me is like, yay, I like it. I like that. You know, there's something going on. You know, something different for wrestling. A new company, right? I'm here for the birth of AEW. I don't remember the birth of TNA. I don't remember the birth of some other companies. But it's like, oh, okay, the beginning of this. So I'm happy about that. What I'm not happy about is that they made it a big deal for the presser, and then like I think we were talking about this in the group, like MJF. I've seen him wrestle a few times. Granted, he's probably great on the he's doing good doing the promos, but
Cooter, I told you he hated him.
I don't think he stands out though enough as far as wrestling wise, but. I have to see more. I'm on the fence. I have to see more, kind of a thing.
He's only 22 years old too.
Yeah, exactly. So he's got a long time to do stuff. But speaking on the other hand, I'm surprised with Jericho. And I know a lot of people are saying it. 48 years old. How much is he actually going to be a part of this, or how much is he going to be around to make any kind of an impact? I mean, he's not young. Granted, he's been doing these one-off kind of matches for New Japan, and that's great because it's just like once every few months or so on, and it wasn't like every week on the road or whatever. So
what's he had 3 matches for fucking New Japan?
Yeah, and it's not like he's traveling with them. So.
It was 5, I believe. Yeah.
So
one with Kenny.
2
no. With Naito.
2 with Naito, 1 with Evil.
I forgot about that one.
So it was 4.
Okay.
But with Jericho, I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, he's got the star power right there. You're going to get casual fans to tune in because of Jericho just to see what he's going to do. But how long is Jericho going to last in that kind of a company? And especially a company that's not going to be on TV next week. They're going to have a show in a few months. And, what's his longevity going to be like? I mean, like I said, 48 years old. By the time he's 50, that's probably when AEW is going to start really, turning heads. But, okay, so Jericho with that. And what's funny with Jericho?
Dude, he can be the commissioner, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Well, here's the thing with Jericho. And tell me what your thoughts is on this, because I was thinking about it. Now, Jericho came into the WWE at the time of the Monday Night Wars. WWE made his legacy even better than what it would have been with just WCW. So think of all the championships, all the accolades. I don't need to name them. You know what he's done. And now for him to kind of granted, there's nothing really left for him to do in the WWE anymore. I mean, let's put over people. That's it. But the kind of stuff that WWE made him, you think he would have more loyalty to stay with that kind of a company because they never screwed him. They never done him wrong. And is this kind of like a slap in the face to Vince? Because I actually even heard they actually already edited him out the intro of the WWE intro, so he's already gone from that ever since the signing.
And no, he was actually Busted Open today, and they talked about Vince and they talked about everything. Basically, he had the conversation with Vince. He talked about it. He didn't get into detail about how Vince was. I'm sure Vince isn't happy. But Vince was cool with it. He wished him good luck, wished the promotion good luck, and that was it.
Yeah.
And that, they're still on good terms.
Right.
The door is always open there, but there's really not anything for him to do in the WWE. I mean, he's done everything there is. He's main evented WrestleMania. He's wrestled just about everybody there. That there's nobody there for him to really invest time in.
And it's a huge roster on both sides over there in WWE. There's really no place for him to fit in anyway.
No, yeah, I agree with you guys with that. I'm just saying, like, the whole loyalty aspect to where this company kind of made him. Do you think by him taking his made, self and going somewhere else, that kind of like, hey, why would you do that to kind of WWE in a way? I mean, granted, it's still early. It's not like he went to WCW that was full blown and they're on TV right now, but. I don't know. It's hard to gauge this because it's like, he can't do anything really in WWE that's going to do anything except for probably put people over. But on the same hand, I mean, how much does he? I don't know. It's one of those things you got to wait and see. So
I mean, he explained when I heard his interview today. He basically explained the same thing he's doing for AEW is what he did for New Japan. Now, when he was announced that he was wrestling in New Japan, their subscriptions went through the roof. Ridiculous. The sales for the New Japan show went through the roof as well. So that's basically what he's doing because he wants those casual fans to come over to the product knowing that he's there but get exposed to everybody else on the roster. Mm-hmm. So this is a chance that you have a name like Jericho on the roster. Now, take advantage of the fact that Jericho's name is on this. Beef up your roster behind Jericho so the fans can be like, oh, Jericho's here, but who are these guys over here, the Strong Hearts? These guys are fucking awesome. Like that's his. I think that's what his role is. That's basically what he said. Is he's trying to help that roster build and get momentum by using his name.
Yeah. Well, okay. How about did you guys get into the Omega elephant in the room kind of question?
Yeah, we did. That man's gonna make a lot of fuck money.
So, like, for just real quick, my 2 cents on it is that, deep down inside of me, it's like if he goes to, and I think we probably touched on this last week too a little bit, but just after seeing the presser and whatnot, to me, with no TV show on TV right now, if Omega goes over there, I don't know. I feel like it devalues his legacy in a little bit, only because he's the number one guy in Japan, kind of a thing right now, right? He was the number one guy, and for him to go just with his friends, is it like too NWO-ish? Like, oh, Hall's joining Nash, Hogan's the third man, is he the third man kind of thing? And then how long do you stretch that out to, like, who's going to be competing against Omega every week or every month or whatnot? Like, how deep is this roster going to get and how fast? But at the same time, man, he's in his 30s. To, like, take that money, you're at the top of your career, get that money from WWE, wrestle there for what, 5-year contract, 2 years, whatever, and then leave and go to AEW, to where I don't think he's going to get a much that kind of a whatever the deal is. I'm sure it's in the millions of dollars, but I don't think he'll get that kind of a deal if he goes to AEW and then maybe they want him in the WWE. You know what I mean? To where I feel like he's at the number one spot, and then for him to go down to AEW and back over, I don't know. I'm sure I'll eat my words later on, but I feel like, in my honest opinion, the right move would be to go make that money while you're still young, and don't do what Sting did and fucking hold out and show up when you're 50 and wrestle a match and then fucking that's it, you're done.
Cooter brought up something that was actually pretty interesting. Is basically, and it kind of like swayed me a little bit more towards the WWE. And Cooter said that, or Cooter, why don't you go ahead and say it rather than me speaking for you?
Well, basically what I said, if he wants to really be a part of AEW and he wants it to be successful, he should go to WWE first, because Do 2 years over there. Get those dream matches. Get the WWE fans behind you, because when you leave and you show up on the other program, it's like Hall and Nash leaving Raw to go to Nitro. You're that first huge name that jumps ship, and you bring your audience with you to that promotion. That's what he should do.
No, I think Kenny, and I brought this up, Kenny is a made man right now. Like, he's got it made, because you have Vince McMahon, who's going to throw a shitload of money at him, and you got Shaka Khan over here, who's going to probably throw just as much, maybe even more. And when Vince hears that he's getting outbidded, Vince is going to, Vince has grapefruit-sized balls. He doesn't want to be dominated. I'm sure he's going to throw up more money. I would tell Vince, if I was Kenny, I would tell them, whatever offer you have, double it. Double it and give me a little bit of creative control. Take those chances. The worst thing they could do is say no.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'm just going to go make money over here with Shaka Khan.
Now, also, Mike, you said you listened to the Jericho interview. He also made mention that he wouldn't have signed, I believe, with AEW if there wasn't somewhat of a decent TV deal in the works to where I know something to that effect, right?
Apparently, and no one is talking about it, but there is a TV deal, and we don't know about it. I'm sure they might be just saying that to buy time. They might actually have something in the works that's not official. That's why they can't talk about it.
I know. It's going to be on Twitch with Tommy Dreamer's Twitch title.
But apparently they have a TV deal. If let's just say nobody wants to give them a TV deal, what if they pulled the Vince McMahon card? Remember Vince McMahon way back in the day? Instead of, them offering him time slots, he paid for those spots, and he took a chance on him and his product. And after a year, when the demand blew up and his time was done, he had networks from all over the place offering him a shit ton of money for his product. So maybe they take that chance too, and just pay for their time slot for a first year. Because the Khans, like I said, they have more money than McMahon's, and I'm sure they're coming in this serious, and I'm sure they're going to throw out a lot of money.
I got a question. Let me throw a question out there. Do you think Matt Riddle stole Vince Russo's gimmick by screaming "bro" every other word?
No, you know who got that gimmick robbed from him? Fucking Zack Ryder. Poor Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder put out a tweet the other day that said, I have this outfit that I wanted to wear for the Rumble 6 years ago, and I still have not been a part of the Rumble yet. How sad is that?
Wow.
Now, how about this, guys, to where, AEW starting, and we're at that cusp to where next year the XFL debuts, and I don't think, I could be wrong, Vince is probably going to be dealing a lot with the XFL. Maybe Triple H will get the keys to the shop, if you will. At this point where AEW is starting to build up this year, do you think Triple H knows exactly how to shut these guys out a little bit, to be like, oh, you think you guys are the elite, watch what I book on this show kind of thing? Do you think that's a better matchup than Vince McMahon going against AEW, to where, Vince is always going to be there until he dies, but if Triple H has the reins and he knows exactly what's happening over there, to where he can kind of fine-tune the shows to kind of compete better?
It's never going to happen, because I think Vince is going to keep people in place who are going to respect and honor the vision that Vince sees. Kevin Dunn will always have a job with WWE until Vince dies.
I'll tell you something, by the time...
And even then, it's probably in a will that fucking Kevin Dunn should have a job.
Vince has enough money that by the time, it's time for him to go to run the XFL, he's still going to be around in like a hologram, and he's still going to be like just... running meetings.
Like Tony Stark after.
Yeah, like Tony Stark talking in the Avengers to the one dude. Or not Tony Stark, I'm sorry.
I'm talking about in the comics. He's actually a hologram now, but whatever.
Yeah. Well,
I do want to admire the I don't know how to really put this, but Pac in his fucking ring gear at a press conference. God,
why are we doing repeats?
See, I don't know what was said, but come on, that was probably the best part of the moment. I didn't care what he had to say, just showing up.
You were just doing your favorite thing, and then all of a sudden, you jumped on. We were making fun of Nia Jax and Botchamania, and fucking all of a sudden, Bum, bum, bum. Hey, guys, Credo's back from his PTA meeting. Damn it, now we got to talk about all the... I didn't want to talk about it to begin with, because there's fucking nothing to talk about, and now we're talking about it again, repeating, rehashing the same fucking shit. I can't take it no more. Can we please talk about something that actually happened? Oh, but Cooter, you don't want to talk about what's trending. Well, you know what else is trending? R. Kelly and Lady Gaga apologizing for doing a song with him 6 fucking years ago. Can we talk about something else, please?
What do you want to talk about?
So, what happened on Smackdown and how great it was?
Daniel Bryan, man, that promo. We talked about it. We had to see it a little rise up a little bit, but this character is great, right?
Hold on. Hey, Cooter.
Yeah.
Speaking of Smackdown, you know what happened at Smackdown?
What happened?
WWE was banning fans that had AEW shirts.
Oh, come on.
An inside job.
Why do you gotta break my fucking balls?
That is a true thing. They were banning them at first, and then once it hit viral, they let them in. But we can continue on about that promo. That promo was fucking great.
No, it's this Daniel Bryan. You know, they always say the greatest gimmick or whatever is yourself, turned up like by 10 or whatever. Turning that switch up, and this is Daniel Bryan. He's the environmentalist guy kind of thing, and don't eat the shit, eat the healthy food and all that stuff. It's great. You know, it's surprising because I think it's the first time they've taken somebody that with such popularity and then made him a heel. I mean, granted, they've, Big Show turned heel, face, whatever, but not as popular as Daniel Bryan or whatnot.
Dude,
and
what was he saying before Change It? It was gold. He was just talking to people in the crowd, and he was saying something like you're despicable or something like that. Like, change it. I don't remember.
Well, speaking of change, you know what he said? He said, "Change the world." You want to know what catchphrase that came from?
No.
AEW.
I hope you. You know what else? Did anybody else notice during the fucking SmackDown tag match between the Usos and fucking the Bar, which again, awesome fucking. There's not one bad segment on SmackDown, but Corey Graves talking about how only the elite tag teams wrestle on SmackDown.
That was the next thing I was gonna go
to.
Really?
I'm taking that bullet out of the chamber. Fuck you, my clone.
I was gonna go there next.
Man, well, this is what everybody's talking about, though. It's going back to that AEW thing, but it's still at the same time. I don't know what you said before. There's still so much time for anything to happen. I think that TV deal, it can't be fucking the Pursuit channel like Impact. It can't be fucking, whatever other channel. It has to be, like a Spike TV or like TNA had that sweet deal, but they ruined it. What would be a good competing channel just for them to go up against? I don't know who's going to buy it, but at the same time, it's got to be a big deal, and it can't be just fucking shown in 3 households like a Ring of Honor and all that other stuff.
If you're going to network television, then I'll talk about you. But if you're just going to be like, some rinky-dink fucking TV show on Sci-Fi or fucking Lifetime. Oh, wait, no, that's the R. Kelly thing. Oh, God.
Well, we never talk about it, but real quick, with Impact Wrestling, they just announced too that, yes, they're moving to the Pursuit channel, whatever the fuck that is, but they're also simulcasting it on Twitch, which I don't care about either. But I think it's the first time someone is actually broadcasting live on a channel and then, simultaneously live streaming it on like an app or whatever. So granted, I'm still not going to tune in for Impact, but, that's something that would definitely revolutionize WWE or whatnot, because how many times are you not home and it's like, fuck, I can't watch it? Or, but if you tune into the WWE network, you could watch Raw, streaming live too. So hopefully they take note from Impact. Is that really good to say? I don't know.
I mean, we talked about Impact briefly. It's actually hasn't been terrible. Actually been pretty good. I actually watched a little bit of it the other night.
I mean, Tommy Dreamer and is still fat, and Raven's catching up. But I mean, it was It was a nice little nostalgia act where they didn't like beat each other up.
Last time.
Don Callis is doing a good job with that, turning around that product. He really
Good
is.
for him. Good for him. I mean, it's just a shame that they, lost so much crucial talent. I mean,
Yeah, I think I'm still blocked by that company, actually, now that I think about it. I don't know.
What else did I miss? Is there anything I can comment on?
We didn't really get much into Raw because there wasn't much to talk about. We did talk about that horrible promo and how just awkward it was.
Should we just do this whole fucking show over again so we can all have our points? Let's do this a third time, guys. Cool, Mike.
No, we
couldn't wait an extra half an hour for Credo to come back from his fucking PTA meeting. We had to do the show 3 separate times. Cool.
Angry.
Oh, man.
Well, from what it looks like, too, though, the WrestleMania main event should be shaping up could be possibly the first women pay-per-view, women main eventing. But I think it might even end up in a 3-way. Do you guys think that does justice to Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and then possibly
Roman Reigns? Yeah, we know.
Charlotte. A 3-way? Does that do justice for a women main event? Do they need 3 women?
I don't know. I kind of wanted the one-on-one. I really did. I mean, a 3-way... First of all, I love 3-ways. Mm-hmm. They're nice. They're fun. But that's a different type of 3-way. That 3-way, they're building to it, but I'm not as invested into it as I would be if just Becky versus Ronda one-on-one. I'm trying to figure out, too, how they're going to book themselves out of this situation where Becky is wrestling Asuka for the title on Smackdown. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how they're going to do this. And we don't know.
It just sounds like someone's not confident about having the women main event, so they're trying to tiptoe around it, and it's just not like you had the perfect scenario: Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, boom, put them together. Your two biggest females going right now, and somebody doesn't like it. What if
because on SmackDown, Carmella took the fall. Carmella's the one that tapped out, and Carmella actually cut a pretty good promo beforehand about people haven't been taking her seriously lately, and she wants to get back on top, and then she taps out.
Yeah.
Now, granted,
and she wasn't bad in the ring. She's actually been pretty.
She's definitely improved.
Yeah.
So now, what if, if I'm playing Fantasy Booker right now to kind of get out of this, let's just say, what if Carmella is the reason why Becky does not beat Asuka? She's the reason why Becky loses, because Carmella is still pissed off. Therefore, when the number 30 spot happens at the Rumble, we all know it's Carmella. Her music hits. She's not coming out. All of a sudden, we take a look. She's been taken out backstage. And then out comes Becky and takes that number 30 spot and wins. That's the only thing that I can think about that can get her to Mania, to Ronda.
Yeah.
I just can't think of any other scenarios. I really can't.
I'm holding a wrestler in my hand. Who is this, Mike Colon?
Savio Vega.
Okay, great. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the name Savio Vega? Honestly.
I broke Draw's neck. Oh, no, wait, that was D'Lo.
That was D'Lo
Brown.
It was the black guy, not the Puerto Rican.
They look alike.
I mean, if you could say something about Savio, what would you say?
He was. When I think of Savio Vega, I think of Stone Cold Steve Austin. To be honest with you.
So would you say? But most people would basically say he was a good worker. He was a very good worker.
Okay.
Okay. So this action figure was bestowed upon me as a joke from my buddy Mike Shapiro, as well as this fucking dude love. And we're at dinner at Ruby Tuesdays, and our girlfriends are mortified as we're both wearing our doot fanny packs in the middle of the Poughkeepsie Galleria, and I'm walking around with a Savio Vega action figure and a Dude Love action figure. And mind you, we're at Ruby Tuesdays. If you go to the one in Fishkill, great service, great food. You go to the one in the mall, and you're waiting an hour and 15 minutes and realizing, oh shit, they didn't put our fucking order in for our fucking food. And then you're waiting another we're literally in fucking Ruby Tuesdays for 2+ hours wearing doot fanny packs with the Savio Vega thing. And we were going to leave this bitch a tip because we were there for over 2 hours. Terrible service, terrible food. And he goes, why don't you leave the Savio Vega action figure as a tip? Right? And I said, I put it in the pile with the money. And we're walking out, and I ran back and I grabbed the figure. And my boy starts laughing. I'm like, what the fuck? What's so funny? And he goes, why did you take the action figure back? I said, Savio Vega was a good worker. Our waitress wasn't. She doesn't deserve the services of a hardworking Puerto Rican like Savio Vega. And that is my story.
Oh, wait a minute. I haven't gone out on double dates or anything like that. I have 2 kids, but was this figure boxed or was it unboxed?
No, this is an old figure that he had just found because he was moving. So when he moved, when you move, like when you moved out of your one house and you moved into your other one, you just like, where the fuck did this come from? Like, oh my God, I remember this. It was one of those holy shit moments. Like, I can't believe I still fucking have this. So he thought it would be funny to give me a Savio, because, we were making Bruiser Brody jokes, you know what I'm saying? And, he was killed in Puerto Rico. And then I'm like, well, you don't have a Jose Gonzalez fucking action figure. He goes, no, but I got a Savio Vega one that I just found. And I'm like, oh God. So this was just a joke that started out in bad taste because of Bruiser Brody and racism. So, I mean, we should probably edit this part of the story out. But
Shapiro, are you professing your love by giving old action figures to people? Is that what you...
No, these were given to me.
I know. He's professing his love by giving you his Savio Vega.
Exactly. I gave him a Bruce Pritchard doot fanny pack.
Doot. So back about this AEW again.
I hope you all get AIDS. Kill yourselves. Fix yourself a glass sandwich with onions, motherfucker.
I like onions.
Change it!